I just want to make a quick follow-up video to the previous one where I talked about find image dupes. And that is, I showed how to view the duplicates in SXAV, but like this, the program doesn't actually give any useful output, or rather the SXIV part of the program doesn't give any useful output. So while you get the duplicates, you can't really do anything interactively with them. So find image dupes provides some scripting capabilities, of course. And that is, we've used this p parameter to specify a program, but there's also like s and include and capital I, or include file and whatnot, and collection, I don't know. And I haven't really, like, I've played around with this a bit, but I haven't used this include and include file thing. I don't really know, like, it's kind of weird because this program really complicates things, I think. But let me show you instead of telling you. So yeah, let's actually just do find image dupes. Yeah, so I've played around with it. So yeah, this is the command which I showed you last video, which gives all the duplicates, and you can view them in this image viewer. But you, like, if you mark some of them, it doesn't really do anything. Like, it doesn't give you any output. So what you can do now is you can specify a script file. And what this does is, well, nothing, but it creates this script file. And if you look into this, this is now what the program would do if we didn't specify this flag. So if we now call this file with, just call it, it executes what the program would have executed otherwise. So yeah, but again, this doesn't give any output. So, and now I think this, if we look at the map page again, this include, the include and include file flags are like here. It is executed after any code included using include file. So this includes some bash code into this script. But yeah, again, I find it a bit complicated. So what I've done is I've just created a shell script which does exactly what I want it to do. So this, I've just called it s.sh. And yeah, I'll go through this in a second, but what you can now do is you can call this program again, and instead of this SXIV path, we specified this shell script. And again, and we could also specify the s flag and do like script 2. And if we now take a look at script 2, it just, yeah, doesn't call SXIV, but this shell script with these parameters. All right, so let's look at the shell script again and let's go through it. So first of all the parameters that are passed to this shell script are collected here in this special shell syntax variable. So this collects all the arguments. So this would give you the first argument, this the second, and so on and so forth. But this collects all of them. So here we just tell SXIV, okay, look at all these files, and then give the ones we mark as output, and this is, I think, to automatically play GIFs. And then we remove the new lines and replace them with spaces. So we get a list of all the files we've marked. So this would give us, for example, something like this, like image 1, image 2, and so forth. And so forth. Then we just make sure the sorted directory exists. Then we check if this variable actually has any content. So if we don't mark any files, this will just give us the empty string. So, and if that's the case, we don't want to execute all of this. We just want to move on. But if we have marked any files, we call dmenu to get a directory. To get the directory we want to copy these files into, and then we make sure this directory exists, and then we just copy all the files into this directory. So it's pretty straightforward, but let's show this in action. So again, if we call this but without the script flag, it gives us again the duplicates, and if we don't mark any, it's fine. But if we mark some of them, it calls the menu up at the top here, as you can see. And if we now input something, for example, chat, it goes on to the next duplicates. Oh yeah, and as you can see, it automatically plays the GIFs. So, or we can now do this and mark both of them again, and then specify. And now it tells us, okay, you have already a directory called chat. Do you want to use that? No, of course not. We want to use soyjack. Okay, and then it goes on to the next one. We're not gonna mark any here, and I don't know. We're gonna mark these three and do Pepe. And we're not gonna mark any here. And this one is a Pepe image again, and we're only gonna mark one of them because they're the same. So, and we get all the D menu auto completion, which you've seen 1,000 times, of course, and probably also used 1,000 times. So, no, don't care. And yeah, we can again mark all of these, for example, and say Bojack. Yeah, no. All right, and if you now look at the sort directory, we see all these directories. And if we take a look at each of them, yeah, they contain the files we've just copied into them. So pretty straightforward. One problem, quote unquote, with this shell script is, of course, that each time you call it, you get the same choices, because it copies the files and doesn't move them. So you can just, I don't know, replace the copy command with the move command. Yeah. Yeah, so this is pretty nice. If we, for example, call it with a lower threshold, so it marks, or it detects more duplicates or more similar files, this marking of files becomes more obvious, like how it is useful. So for example here, we have like 112 files which were detected as similar, quote unquote. So yeah, if you were to go through all of these now and mark, like, for example, all the Pepes, this is pretty useful. And if you then don't copy them but move them and call this command or this program again, you can, of course, with each iteration, remove or sort more and more images, and so on and so forth. So I think you get the point. Yeah. Oh yeah, and now it also detects these thinking emojis as similar. Hooray. So yeah, I think that's all I want to show you for this video. And yeah, I hope this was somehow useful. And yeah, have a nice day.